Boo. Welcome to my stream. If you're one of those VOD watchers seeing this stream after it's been posted live, then I have just one message for you. Hi. And for all you guys viewing this live, go practice your scales, you lazy dum-dums. And for all of you guys who are both the VOD watchers and also viewing this live, go practice your scales, you lazy dum-dums. And just know, if you don't have a library card, I will make fun of you for it for the rest of your days. So go get one. They want you to have one. So take it. And get all the knowledge from there. It's so nice to sit in the library and read a book outside of your home, surrounded by books, surrounded by other people trying to acquire knowledge. It's just a great environment for you to learn. And not only that, if they don't have what you want, then you can just ask them to get it for you. Because that's why they're paid. They're paid to give you information. So let them give it to you. And if you're wondering what kind of keyboard I have, it's a Unicomp Mini M. It's so perfectly loud. Okay, time to post that I'm live on my Discord server, which you can join following the link in the description. I only accept cool people though, so if you're not cool, then stay away. That's the 0th rule, the unspoken rule of being there. You have to be cool. Can you turn up the keyboard? Oh, you want to hear the keyboard some more? Maybe you should just turn up your volume, because I think if I made it any louder, I would also become louder. And I'm already super loud. Okay. Me and my buddies are talking about our show that we have not been able to start yet because our schedules have not been lining up. For like the longest time now, we've been wanting to start an improv comedy podcast. Because here's the thing about podcasts, right? When podcasts are just conversational and you just talk about stuff that happens in your day and maybe some news, you eventually start running out of things to talk about. Unless you hire guests on, I guess, which would work. But we ain't got anything like that going for us. We ain't got no connections for that kind of stuff to hire up those folks. So how do you make a podcast that lasts forever? Well, you make it a game show. So what we have is a little game show, which is an improv comedy game show. That sounds like more like prestigious, I guess, than it is when I say it like that, when I use those big words. But in fact, it's just a way for us to all show how dumb we all are and how unfunny we are. But we did some test runs of our format, and I had a great time. So hopefully tomorrow we can have our first recording session, although I'm not quite sure. I really was hoping on it being a weekly thing, but like I said, our schedules haven't always lined up. And I can't just do this with everyone, you know? I can't just round up a few friends and have them do it, because not everyone is like disposed, not everyone's keen on doing improv, which kind of sucks, but I mean, it'd be kind of weird, I guess, if all of my friends were, but that's the idea. And so hello all y'all, welcome to the Shirgi stream. I know all of you are here just to look into my eyes, so I'll let you stare into my eyes for a few seconds. Who's ready for some Chopin? I know I am. I can't wait to write some more, put some more notes to some instruments. Okay. What time is it? I'm in Texas, so I got that Chicago time on my side. Alright, Alt F4 Discord, get out of here. Oh, I also need to open my Chopin, the original Ocean Etude. And I know Chopin didn't like call it Ocean himself, that's like a name the publishers gave it, but also at the same time, like, if he never gave it a name, I probably would never have remembered it anyway. Or if nobody had given it a name, I should say. I don't know if I would have remembered Opus 25, number 12. I think I only remember that because it's called the Ocean Etude. And it annoys me so much. I complain about this all the time. Anytime I want to look up a particular, like, Vivaldi concerto or something, or anything by Bach even, especially if it doesn't come under, like, a blanket term, like, this is part of the Four Seasons suite, this isn't part of the Art of Fugue thing. It's like, if it's not part of anything like that, or like a musical offering, if it's not grouped under a title like that, it's much harder to find. Like, oh, I want to find Vivaldi concerto that sounds like this, and what am I supposed to search for? I just need to start at the catalog and start counting up. I can't remember what key it's in because I don't have no perfect pitch or anything like that. So how am I supposed to find it? Better just click on 10 YouTube videos until I find it. It's so annoying. If they just had names, even if they were crappy names, I would remember them so much more. So, and plus Ocean is just such a great name. I mean, it's just called Ocean. Maybe it could be something a bit more, but Ocean is a good name for this. It really does sound like the ocean. Almost like that was the point. Man, I'm smart. Bow, bow. I know you can't see right now. Don't complain to me. That's why Opus catalog numbers exist. Well, that's exactly what I was just complaining about. If I'm trying to find, like, a Vivaldi concerto, I need to remember the Opus number or catalog number, and I can't remember every Opus number of everything I've ever wanted to listen to. I'm like, oh, I really like this, like, oboe concerto I heard one time. What catalog number was it? I don't know. Time to just look up oboe concerto and hope that I find any one of Vivaldi's 10,000 oboe concertos. That doesn't seem to be much of a problem nowadays, though, when people, like, actually give their works titles, which is much better. I think the Haydn symphonies have titles. I don't think many of the Mozart symphonies have titles, though, so if I listen to a Mozart symphony and somebody told me, oh, this is symphony number 29, and I'm like, oh, I really like that, let me listen to it again. It's symphony number, the one by Mozart, the symphony number, what is it? And then I have to go through all the symphonies and go like, which one was it? Which one was it? The cool thing about being a violist is that we barely have repertoire, so you can refer to them by the name of the composer. Oh, the viola concerto by this guy. The only one that exists. I see. That's so sad and funny. Okie pokey. Wow, it's the thing I wrote. I changed like 2 things since we were last here, which I did literally right before the stream. I did this. And I think I also made this bass drum do this. It's doing that now. There was probably something else, probably some dynamics I changed here and there, but that's all I remember. Okay, I'm gonna turn you down a tiny bit. Now, not much has changed since the last time I was here, but I'll play it again from the beginning so we can kind of have a baseline of what we're dealing with. Hopefully I can get to the next part of this and fully do that, but of course we're gonna listen back to what we have here. Think about what's wrong with it and fix it, hopefully. Okay, go! And then I haven't written any of the orchestra up to there. So, first things first. Oh my goodness. I would like to do what I had over here with the stringies and have them play an octave up before they move down. I like that. It adds a little bit more emphasis, I think, which I like. Okay. Do you play piano? I did play piano. Big emphasis on that did. I did do it at some point. Hold on. I would like, you just, I guess. I would like y'all here in the trombones. Just go up to a nice steady forte. Don't do any weird accents or anything. Okay. Sorry for my absence, bro. You don't have to apologize for anything. It's the internet. Why would you ever apologize? No one's ever done that. Alright. Any other changes I think I should make? I was struggling with this earlier, but I wanted this to be like a loud. It's not quite as dramatic as I would like. Maybe it's because it's like peaking too early. If I like do something like this, maybe. If the crescendo was more elongated, then maybe that would be better. Maybe it just needs more forceful piatti. Here was kind of weak sauce. Here I'm really loud. Okay. Anything else I think I should do? I think everything else is okay. I'm thinking of orchestrating the List Transcendental Etude. What should I do? You should open a new MuseScore file and do it. I can't really hear this. That's a problem. I want to be able to hear this. I get like, not so forte maybe. Try this. A little quieter. Better. Okay. Orchestrating over outs that weren't in the original. Well, besides instruments. I try not to add too many things that aren't in the original, like new melodies or new harmonies. I think that's okay if someone wants to do that. I don't really have anything against that. It's just kind of like a personal challenge to try not to add too many notes that other than like octaves. I'll add octaves. But like not too many like new harmonies. Not because I think it's bad, but mostly just like as a challenge. It's the same reason why there's no piano in this part here. Like, there are parts here where I probably would have liked in the piano specifically because of that dark sound, but dark but clear sound it has in its bass register. But just as a challenge to myself, because this is a piano piece and I'm translating it to orchestra, I'm intentionally foregoing the use of the piano. So even if I could have used it for like some kind of special color effect, I'm still choosing not to use it here just as a challenge. So instead I've opted for marimba here. And plus I think too many pieces claim to be orchestrations of piano pieces and they just have a piano playing the original and then they just have some strings being in the background and they call it orchestrating, which I guess, like I always say, it's not, I guess it's not wrong, but it feels a little cheaty in a way that I don't really like. So, hello. I was thinking of maybe adding a bit of stringy strings here, string arpeggios here. After this. I don't really like this. What in tarnation is going on here? That's not... You know, I don't know Polish, but I'm pretty sure that's not how you spell his name. But, you know, who am I to... I don't know Polish. It's this here. I want to take these 4 bars, I want to put them in the stringies, and just see what they think. Although you can't play these, so I'm just curious what you sound like. Louder. I don't really think that adds like a meaningful amount of stuff. You music major? Nope. Not a music major. I think maybe I should add some smoothness by just like emphasizing the harmony out with these fun tremolos, but like with more smooth violin parts. And so, when should that start? Maybe like right here? At this phrase, I think. So E, when it goes to the, not the modulation, but like this fun chromaticism. I'll have you be fortissimo. And then what are you? A flats. And then G. Okay. Okay. Gray notes. What, like here? You mean like this? This is supposed to be hidden. Technically it's a mistake. Okay. I don't think I have any gray notes here. Wow. Okay. Anything I think I should add here? Alright, I wanted this chord here to have a little bit more bite. So I'll let you trumpets kind of take over here. But I want you to immediately decrescendo down a forte here. Let me hear this brass together. That's a very nice sounding chord. Which is not what I want. I need something a bit darker. Maybe like a low E on the horn. Try this. I don't like that low E, but you can be in the higher E. That's a bit better. The tuba can play this low note, that's fine. Because it's a tuba. Maybe euphonium a bit lower. No, I like that a bit. I like it a bit higher. Okay. Go. I want this hit to be slightly louder, please. I guess I could just ask more timpani to play. Although I do think this is a bit loud. Yeah, so they're decreasing in quality here. Not quality, volume. Good. I have a feeling that the contrabass should also get a... We also get a turn here playing this, although the contrabass is having a... It's doing a very good job of playing this sweet sounding like low note here. But I kind of do want the contrabass to join in on the melody, and so if I were to do that, then I guess I would need to maybe extend the length of this tuba note, which I'm perfectly fine with. That just means I need to do it. Wow, that's my tuba impression. Wow, no. You're overextending. No, 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 no. Incorrect. Don't do that. Alright, get out of here, contrabass. And then come back because you got a job to do. Yoink. Not that high, my friend. Oh wait, you need to also play it fortissimo. There you go. Everyone, all together now. You should all be fortissimo by now, unless I didn't mark that. I think I did. Yeah. Awesome. I don't think I'll really like the sound of this, but I want to hear you just an octave lower, just out of curiosity. Try it with the full orchestra. Now try again like this. You know, I actually like that bass more than I thought. So let's keep it down in the bass. One more time. Not on this first note. I would like this first note to be kind of a purer E. And then here. That's fine. Like this. Good, I like that. Okay, and now this is going to require a little bit of attention. So right now I have it so that the strings and the woody ones are playing here with these arpeggios. Once again, I would like the cellos to be doubled with somebody. I would like them to be doubled with either the violas or the contrabasses. And the contrabass is already doing this kind of nonsense. But I really want them to play with the cellos. So I'm going to make them do that, but not that high. Awesome. Or let's hear what you sound like with viola instead. Just for funsies. Actually, I haven't written the these guys for any other things. Hold on, let me just check who's doing what. So you're starting here at A flat, and so are you. Wow. Hold this note longer, my friend. No, wrong button. Octafier, please. Oh, I don't like the sound of that. Just, you can play with this full measure, that's fine. Because I do want someone there kind of anchoring the bass. Because of course when the piano is playing this part, you know, there's a very grand bass note being held by the sustain pedal. But we ain't got that right now. We have an orchestra, so we gotta find someone to do the anchor, which was previously being done by the contrabass and also by the tuba. But I've kind of, well, I guess the tuba is playing this just quietly. I could have them, you know what? Bassoon, shut up. Let's let the tuba do this. That's what it's for. Why are you like this? Do this, please. I think maybe it's lacking a little bit of bite. I think we can let the euphonium, actually no, let the euphonium stay. I think I'll just include the bass trombone with this. The bass trombone will add just a tiny bit, or maybe... maybe more horn is in order. More hoarder. Yeah. Right now the cellos are being doubled with these trombone parts. It's a little hard to hear. Here, let's do the old switcheroo, and I'm gonna switch y'all out with the horns and hear what that sounds like instead. Oh my gosh! Shut up. Not all of the horns, just the first and second, or first and third horns. I mean, cello and horn is always going to be a good combo. Okay. And do I like this combination of bass? Wow. Wow. It's fine, I guess. Any way to get trombone glissandos to sound good? Nope. Because if I did know, then I would have used a ton of them in my own writing. Like my own pieces. But unfortunately, I ain't got no thing for trombone slides. I'm still thinking about how to... Right. Since all of you are on my stream, you get to listen to me talk about this for a little bit because you're on my stream. So I've been thinking for a while, okay? I've been thinking for a while about my own instrument synthesis. And if you're in my Discord server, you've heard me talk about this 1,000 times. But I recently was thinking, like, why can't I have trombone glissandi and clarinet glissandi and all that kind of stuff? And I want some. So I'm thinking, what if I built my own instrument synthesizer using math and science, which I'm gonna try not to get too much into so you can get like the big picture instead of having to know all this math nonsense. But basically you can, in Audacity, which is a free open source program, you can load in a sample and it'll spit out some numbers, and those numbers are like weird math mumbo jumbo, you can take those numbers and manipulate them in a very specific way that you can get a sound wave. And if you take all of those numbers and like attach them to some sliders, so you can say, you know, a slider for pitch and dynamics and maybe like other things that you might want, like bow speed or things like that for instruments, then you can kind of manipulate the sound. And then if you add maybe like a bit of jitter and a bit of randomness to make it feel more realistic, then you can, you know, you can have this extremely controllable virtual instrument that doesn't necessarily rely on audio samples. It's just an instrument synthesizer, but it's a pretty realistic one because I'll be doing stuff that apparently no other instrument synthesizer has thought of doing, and if they have, then I don't know about it, or it's too expensive for me to know about it because I haven't bought it. So that's the idea, and I got a little closer today because I learned about some thing in a programming language that could be used to help me achieve this. So it's probably going to be like a summer project for me or something. But like, I feel like I'm pretty close. My biggest hurdle though is that creating a VST. VST is it's like a plugin that you put into your DAW, your digital audio workstation, or MuseScore. Making one of those seems like extremely tedious, and I'd have to learn a whole new thing, and it was really annoying. But I guess I might have to do that. But also, MuseScore has very bad, like infamously bad support for like custom instrument plugins, and it doesn't let you control the knobs at all. Maybe there's like plugins that you can, like plugins for MuseScore that you can put into it so that you're able to control those. If they exist, then I don't know about them. I probably would have been told about them by now. But anyway, that's the idea. Hopefully I gave an explanation that isn't too vague, but also not too confusing. I tried not to talk about any of the math or anything, so. But. If I could do that, then I could finally have the trombone and clarinet glissandi I want. Like the first instrument I plan to make is a clarinet. My friend's brother plays clarinet, and his dad has some studio like microphones, or studio quality, I should say, microphones that they can use to record some samples that I can use to, you know, sample this and turn it into a virtual instrument. And then the first thing I want to do is recreate the opening solo to Gershwin's Rhapsody in Blue on the clarinet, so I can, you know, I can show that I have a virtual instrument realistic enough for playback using something like this, and also have it have fun things like glissandi and trills and stuff like that. So that's the idea. Not saying that this is going to come anytime soon, it's just an idea, but I am getting a little bit closer with some research into more ways to do it. So that's the idea. Anyway, aside from that, let's get back to the music. That's my impression of the ocean etude. It sounds like that. Right, I wanted to take the violas and put them somewhere. Or these arpeggios, I guess. Well, they're into violas because the violins literally cannot play this. So what's your lowest note? D? Please tell me it's D. It's C! Darn it. That means the clarinet can't play it because the clarinet's lowest note is D. What is a C? I guess a bass clarinet can do it. You shut up for a bit so you have enough time to switch to a bass clarinet. Bang. There you go. And this bass clarinet will help us out play some of these lower notes, specifically this one note that the normal clarinet can't play because it's stupid, and making me pull out a whole, making me pull out a whole other instrument, which it just undid right now by me copy and pasting those notes. So of course it's gonna screw me over immediately. Bang. There you go. And now, with that free, and also there are not enough measures here. Hold on, I need more measures. Just add like a billion, I don't care. Just add some. Just so it's not so spread out over there. And I can easily copy y'all. Oh, I said copy. I guess this could also go in violins. Never mind, this F here cannot be played by a violin. I mean, it can. But only if you ask the violinist to tune. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna make him do that. Maybe for this specific phrase, you guys can hold these notes instead of giving them a rest. Here, let me hear what that sounds like. I still like the sound of the rest, but just something like this maybe? Yeah, that feels more natural to me. I like that. So hold this note a little, just a tiny bit longer. And I guess I'll do the same thing in horn too. That's the wrong note. What's that? Get out of here, tomato. I didn't write that there, did I? I sure did not. Good. Now what? Hi, stringies. Can you be in... Oh wait, you play the mezzo forte. You play... Please, no, don't do that. Please instead do this. Thank you. Are you playing mezzo forte like I want you to? You sure are. I'm thinking that this kind of repeated part ain't gonna be so easy for a flute to pull off, so... Oh wait, that's already been played by a clarinet. I see. Okay, so you just play this little figure right here, and I guess this flute, or maybe, or yeah, you can have two of them flutes playing like that. And let me hear what these woodwind parts sound like. Hold on. Okay, I'm not... That's not as clear as I would like it to be. Maybe this clarinet just ain't loud enough. And plus this note's pretty high. So you can go in the piccolo actually, and have both of y'all do some figures like this. There you go. Try again. Okay, that's a bit better, I think. I would write for wind ensemble. I did write a few wind quintets when I was starting out this, but not specifically like wind ensemble or concert band. I just can't give up the sound of the strings, you know? It's like trading in the sound of the strings for some saxophones. Like, why can't I just have both? Why can't I just have strings and saxophones? Why do I gotta give up the strings for the saxophones? If I wanted saxophone, I might as well just put them in the orchestra. So no, I don't write for wind ensemble. At least if I heard like a piece of music and in my mind I could hear a wind, because like not all pieces I think are orchestratable, and also not all pieces are able to be arranged for a concert band. Maybe, of course, I'm completely biased in this point because I will listen to more orchestral music than concert band music, but at least so far I haven't come across any piece of music like that I think should be arranged, or like in my mind when I'm thinking of a melody. I haven't really heard concert band. I mostly hear orchestra. So, although I think it'd be very interesting to hear people's things arranging for concert band versus for orchestra, just to see how they would, or hear, I guess, how they would do it differently. One of the reasons I'm cluttering my MuseScore sheet so full of dynamics because I can't remember or even see without scrolling far what the heck is currently active. I mean, that's probably good practice because chances are your players aren't gonna know what dynamic they're supposed to be at either. So it's not really about, you might as well write more dynamics than necessary than less dynamics than necessary, you know? So it ain't a bad thing. Anyway, yeah, maybe I should have the E flat clarinets. No, that's like an impulsive thought. No, I'm not gonna have the E flat clarinets. I'm not gonna do that. But maybe I should. Oh, but I really shouldn't. But maybe I should. Anyway, copy these notes here and put them on our piccolo friend, who might not seem like a friend, because it isn't. But just make sure to treat the piccolo nicely, or your ears will be very sad. The threshold between band versus orchestra. I don't really know. I ain't an expert on anything like that. The most immediate difference is that like a concert band at least doesn't have like a full string section. I think they sometimes do have strings, but not like a section, mostly like a few soloists and maybe a double bassist. But that's like the bit, because the string players in an orchestra are like half of the entire orchestra. There are so many of them, maybe even more than half, depending. So Ravel would be incredibly difficult to arrange for wind ensembles. Usage of strings is so specific. String specific would be hard to properly translate to winds. Yeah, and also definitely Stravinsky, because he used the heck out of pizzicato. Stravinsky used so much pizzicato. So I just don't see how you'd be able to recreate that kind of effect on winds. You could probably pull the Ocean Etude off for concert band pretty nicely. I just use strings because, well, I like the sound of strings, but you could probably replace these strings with something else. I just have them for strings right now. I am a huge fan of a lot of percussion, though, which is what concert band has over orchestra, is all the percussion that it uses. And I do like my percussion. I feel like it really makes it. Adds a lot of character. I think in modern usage, the orchestra is getting a lot more percussionists, which is a good thing. That's awesome. But it's cool to think of how like composers got away with not using a lot of percussion for a while. Like the only percussion in the orchestra was like a timpani, bass, and like a cymbal and a triangle, because that's what Beethoven would have used, right? So all the other instruments, they're not really standardized and weren't used for a long time. I can't remember like any special percussion besides maybe the snare drum that was added during the Romantic era. They're all focused on making string melodies anyway. And weird piano mumbo jumbo. Anyway, what was I doing? Right, writing for this. I'm listening for the fluties. Go. No piccolo, please. Instead of flutes, try oboe. Okay, I like flute more. And I do have the glockenspiel is playing this arpeggio here. I think it's cooler. Windows XP wallpaper in your background. What, this? Yeah, it's the Bliss wallpaper. I have wallpaper. Here are my wallpapers that I have on my computer. I have the Windows 7 one. I have the Windows Vista. This one's the Windows XP one. And this is my current. These are my current ones, which are playing in a slideshow. If I close these guys, you can see it's a slideshow. I guess you can't tell it's a slideshow, but these pictures change. So that's my wallpaper right now. But yeah, I do. For a while, I skinned my computer to be Windows Vista, and I get so many comments on my streams like, You're still using Vista? How are you running this on Windows Vista? MuseScore 4? No. For pizzicato, using very round but short notes, maybe using some mallets helps me remember for articulation. Yeah, see, I can understand that. Yeah, using marimba. Definitely marimba. Vista looks so pretty, though. It did. I think Windows Vista was the sexiest operating system. It was, like, the least functional, but it was the sexiest. And that's really what matters to me. Form over function. Okay. Okay, and now I need more of these arpeggios. So where are we? No, we're not here. This is C major. It's like somewhere over here, I think. Yeah, right here with the, what's it? I think it's E flat major? No, A flat major. It's A flat major. Yeah, modulation to one more flat, that makes sense. And then over here. This is where I am, right? Nope. Yeah, this arpeggio here. Okay. Go in the clarinet first so I can figure this out. Or don't, I guess. Control V. There you go. And get rid of this. Okay. Wow, my MuseScore just refuses to play this high B flat, huh? Will it play this? Or this? Out of Vista blue screen episode, computer restarted and blue screen and restarted and blue screen. So I left it for 2 hours, came back, and then it was fine again, no problem. See, the computers back then knew that if they were encountering a problem, they should just turn themselves off and back on again. So it just did that until it worked. And of course, it worked because that's how you fix a computer. So like, what's there to really complain about? Checkmate Vista haters. Get out of here, you second voice. So some of these notes go in the contrabass. Yoink. Oh my gosh. Oh wait, I selected the one on the treble one. Yeah, wait, I just realized I didn't write in the, oh wait, you're playing the high notes. And you're playing the super high notes. Wait. And you're playing the lower notes. Okay. And let me fix my posture real quick. It's very good posture. Don't worry about it. I really feel like I should write this for 2 bassoons and not 1, but whatever. Yeah, so there is the upper arpeggio and there's the lower one, which I gotta be aware of. Also, what happened to the lower arpeggio? Did I just delete it? What? I guess I must have just deleted it. I don't know why it got deleted, but whatever. Can you select only the first voice, pretty please? And go right here. Yoink. The clarinets are playing the lower voice. No, they're playing the upper voice. So wait, strings are playing the lower voice, or second violins and contrabass are playing the lower voice, woodwinds and violins are playing the upper voice. And also the glockenspiel. I feel like it might be better if both of you played the lower voice. And then just let the woodwinds take over the upper voices. I think that would make more sense. And also be easier. So like, of course the strings are there for some parts, but I think the woodwinds are just better at these upper notes. So... And you can go on the piccolo. It's not that high though. No, as I thought, I didn't like that very much. I think the glockenspiel here is a good call. Good job, me. Okay, so you require... something like... No, that's incorrect. You are what I need. No, get out of here. Oh my gosh. Playing ping pong with me, are we? Peekaboo. Oh, there we go. Yeah, that's what I did over there. And... oh wait. There you go. That's what I wanted. Here, you're the upper part, right? Starting with the B flat, not the A. Good. And these lower notes are on the bass clarinet, so you go on the buccal. Awesome. These notes start on the clarinet, do-do-do-do, and then they move to, well, the other clarinet. I think I should also have you accent this note, the high note. I think it's a bit nicer. And what am I gonna do next? Right, the arpeggios. You guys don't play these notes, so you can just kind of chillax here. We start again. You do this. You start here. You start here. You end here, and you end here. Just here. Yeah, that's correct. Okay. And then these parts go in the first bassoon. So add a quarter rest here, and bang. Awesome. Do a lower part here. Bang. No. I meant to get rid of this. And oh wait, I don't have that playing in here. No, that was supposed to be for the contrabassoon. Hold on. You go on contrabassoon. There you go, awesome. Maybe you ought to go on a different instruments. Here, you... Why'd you like that over here? Why am I so inconsistent with my writing? What the heck is going on? You go here. I guess third bassoon can just take a break. Maybe it can be another contrabassoon. I would like that. I like contrabassoons. So you do And you, contrabass, you also do this. But you do it differently because of reasons. Or wait, no, you do it... Yeah, hold on. That's correct. That's correct. All systems nominal. Alright, and also the what are you called? The strings, they'll do something. Do something like this. And then also Shirgi's playing something. What are they gonna play? These parts. Everything that comes right around here. There's a double treble clef. Get out of here. And they go down to A flat. There's this note here. And like this. Quarter 8. Bang. Okay. When did you start this? I started this... I don't know. Time to check. I started this 4 days ago. That's when I started it. Am I... Oh yeah, okay, no, I did add the accent, it's just hiding all the way down here. Something tells me that this ain't right. What the heck? Change enharmonic spelling, concert and transposed pitch. Change enharmonic spelling, current pitch mode only. I didn't know there were 2 of them, and I didn't even know you could change the regroup rhythms. What the heck? Optimize enharmonic spelling. I like that term. I like it very much. Ah, I knew it. You're supposed to be down. The slur is now clipping into the accent. Hold on. Let me... Oh my gosh. It's just... just try to let it avoid that. Oh my goodness, it's getting worse. No, no. There you go. That's a bit better. Make a MuseScore key binding shortcut? I can tell you right now. Starting with the numbers. 5 is a quarter note. 4, 8th, 16th, go down the list. And then, since 5 is quarter note, 6 is half, 7's whole, 8 is double whole, 9 is quadruple whole, and then 0 is rest. So I can put a note down. I can press 5 to turn it into a quarter note. I can press 9 to turn it into 4 whole notes. I can press 0 to turn it into a rest. But it's easier actually if you have a note. If you want to turn it into a rest, you can just right click it. But if you have like a whole note and you have a quarter note selected, then it will subtract a quarter note. Bang! And it will add a rest. And then like the other notes will just kind of fill in. Same with this. Or like this, it'll do it for you. You can press the dot on your keyboard to add a dot. It adds a dot. Want to add a double dot? Well, too bad. You gotta go up here and press the button yourself. Arrow keys. Moves it chromatically. If you press Shift and Alt and then the up and down arrow keys, it will move diatonically. Why Shift Alt? Because screw you, that's why. If you press Control and up and down, you can move in octaves. Very awesome. If you hold down Alt and then press 1, you'll add a unison. If you press 2, you'll add a second. Press 3, you'll add a third. Press 8, you'll add an octave. You can keep pressing to get more notes. Pretty cool, right? I actually never tried this. Can you just... No, you can't add infinite unisons. I'm very disappointed. Oh wait, you can. They're just hiding in each other. Okay, interesting. What else? Oh yeah, you can press minus to add a flat. You can press shift and then the plus to add a sharp, and you can press equals to add a flat. Or not a flat, sorry, a natural. That's completely wrong. No. Minus flat, plus sharp, equals flat. No, I said it again. Equals is natural. Darn it. It's the minus flat, the sharp is plus, and the equals is natural. Natural. Naturally. And who catches it? Naturally. And what throws it to naturally? No, what throws it to who? Okay. Other keybinds. You can press Control T to add this flaps. You can add flaps. Don't add flaps. Don't add flaps. Don't add flaps. No, guys, stop adding flaps. No, I can hear you guys adding flaps. Stop adding flaps. Stop it. No flaps. No, please. I don't want to hear any flaps. No. Okay. You can select a note and press Control D to add dynamics. As we Control D, you cannot select multiple notes and press Control D to add dynamics, which is a flaw, and it's a fatal flaw. It's so stupid. Every time I want to add multiple dynamics to multiple notes, I need to go all the way over here and select it myself. I don't like that. MuseScore better fix that soon. Right, you can also press Shift and then the arrow, not the arrow, the greater than and less than symbols. Just pick the one that looks like crescendo or decrescendo. That's good. You can also hold down Alt and press up and down to move between staves like this. You can also you can hold down Shift and then arrow keys to select up and down like that. I don't use that super often, but that's something I do use. You can press space to play. I bet you guys didn't know that. You can press space again to pause it, like this. Well, it'd pause. If you press space again, it'll play from where you paused it. Those are some pretty cool keybinds. Very useful. Oh, and you can also, I think, if you press Control Alt and then 2, you can switch everything to second voice. Or if you press Control Alt 3, you shift it to third voice. You can press Control X to cut something, and you can press Control V to paste it back, or you can press Control X to cut something, and then you can select something else and press Control Shift X to swap it with what's in your keyboard, and then you can press Control Shift X again to re-swap it, so you can swap out what instruments are playing what things using this, which is very handy sometimes. Instead of having to like put everything onto another instrument track, you can just kind of do a little swapperoo. For articulations, you're right, articulations. Shift S is staccato, Shift V is accent, Shift N is tenuto, Shift O is marcato. I don't think there are any other ones. Yeah, those are the main ones up here. Anything else? I have a custom keybind for these Roman numeral things. I use it when I'm writing. That's a custom keybind though. I set that one myself. So I guess you can press F11 to go into full screen. It's pretty cool, right? You can press Control O to open a file. You guys want to look at my files? You can open a file. Okay. Staccatissimo. I wish there was a staccatissimo one, but unfortunately for that, you're going to have to go into articulations and click it yourself. You can actually combine accents though, so you can have the ultimate accent. Actually, you can only have accent or marcato, but you can have the staccato tenuto accents, or the staccato tenuto marcato, which is it's just a beautiful combination, really. The staccato tenuto marcato. That's just so fun to say. I don't know if any composer has ever written anything like that. Has any composer tried stacking accents? Like, will allow me to do that? Allow me to stack accents? Can I add another one? Please? Like written 2 accents, like please play this note louder. Or maybe like multiple dots to make it even shorter. Also Control Shift Q or W to paste the phrase double or half the length. Yeah, well, I haven't done that very often, so I always do that by just going and, yeah. Well, you can see all the keybinds going into the menus here. So many keybinds. But for something niche like that, I usually just use these buttons. They'll tell you. Oh, also, I forgot this one. If you have a note, or you want to turn it into a tuplet, say you want to make it a triplet, you can press Control 3, and it'll change into a triplet. Control 2 or a tuplet, or duplet, I guess. Quadruplet, quintuplet, glet, sextuplet, septuplet, octuplet, nonuplet. And I don't think it'll let you do any more than if you press Control 0, it just does this. So if you want to add more, you'll have to do it manually, I think, by going into something tuplets like this. But if you need anything more than that, then you're either a genius or an idiot, and maybe both. You can slur anything, but it depends on the sound file. Oh yeah, slurs. You're right. You can hold down a bunch of, like, a range of notes, press S and it'll slur them. You can have 2 same notes, press T on the first one to tie them, or untie them. Also, if you tie notes together, then they move together. Oh, is that all? There's probably more, but I'm struggling to think of them right now. Whisker 3 allowed you to stack accents. It was annoying because they stacked on top instead of duplicating them, and you had to go through and Control-Delete over and over again. Dang. Oh yeah, you can press Control-B to add a new measure at the end of the thing, which I've accidentally pressed a multitude of times when I've tried to press Control-V for paste. And sometimes I press Control-B and it just adds another measure to the end on accident. Which isn't really annoying, more so that's just like, why did I do that? And I think you can press Control backspace to delete entire measures, so you can see the page got a little less dense. You can just press backspace to delete normal things though, but if you press Control backspace, it like deletes an actual measure. So there you go. Right, what was I doing? MuseScore. Oh yeah. Orchestrating. Did I write down all the things I wanted? The last thing I did was add the violins. Would you strategically want to add a unison note on the same staff instruments? What do you mean, like this? Or oh, this one. Hold on. That's a timpani. Okay, wait, no. Which one's the horn? Are you the horn? You're the glockenspiel. Which one use the horn? You're the horn. If you're writing for multiple instruments in one staff, like horns, that's why I was looking for horns, and this will easily signify that you want 2 horns to play this part. Of course, it's not very practical if you just want both horns to play doing something like this. So instead, by convention, you write A2, so 4-2. But if you're writing for multiple voices and you want them to both play this, then you can do this, something like this. So I'm not sure if MuseScore will play both of them, but you can. And I'm sure you can also you've probably seen this in like piano music too, something like that. But usually it's because there's multiple voices in play for that, so it's a little different. And usually if you're writing for multiple horns and stuff, you might as well just, you know, use the second voice option that MuseScore gives you, and it'll do something like this. But you can also do this if you want, that's fine. It just depends on what you're doing. Iguana? You're so right, where's the iguana? What did I just add? I added a note somewhere. Get out of here. Where are the iguanas? You're so right. Used in solos, Sforzandos, and music sound atrocious and uncanny. That's so specific, but I know exactly what you mean. Where is my composition sheet? There she is. I accidentally opened 2 of them. Hi, iguanas. What do you think of my Chopin arrangement so far? Is it to your liking? Or are you displeased by something? No, but I wrote it that way because I wanted it to sound like more... Sorry. Okay, no, I didn't mean to talk back. No, No, I'll let you speak. Okay, I'll keep that in mind. Thanks, iguanas, for your wisdom. Okay. Sounding great so far. Thank you. After what the iguanas told me and they ripped apart my entire arrangement, I really needed that. Okay. Right. You. Flutes. Dang. Dang, flute cannot play B flat 3. Sad. It could play this though. Alright. You know what? It's oboe time. Oboe can play that. Dang. Take this oboe. The program's Sibelius. It sure is not. It's not Sibelius. It's MuseScore. M-U-S-C-S-E-O-R-E. Spelled like this, if I could spell it. MuseScore. If I could type an O. There you go. I could also uninstall MuseScore. One day. Is it alto flute time? No, no, no. Well, maybe. No. Maybe. No. Maybe. No. Maybe. Yeah, it's alto flute time. I'm going to move you here to... Oh, wait, how am I gonna... How am I going to do this? Alto flute is underappreciated. I really do think it is. I use alto flute in it like all my original work, but I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to do that here. I guess I can get rid of a flute, but I don't really want to do that. Here, you guys can both play this. I need to give like... The thing is, I need to give the second flute like a bar of repose so that I can switch to another flute. So, change inster. Alto. Be funny to denote every note as E, but add on sharps flat to denote the actual notes. Wow, that sounds terrible. You should do it. How do I use the brass section well? Every time I use them, they overpower everything except the horns because we like horns. Give me a moment, I'll tell you. But first, 11-string alto guitar. What's a kell horn? 20th century instruments. There's new instrument lore. I haven't heard of a kell horn. What in the world is this? That's not a kell horn. Actually, it is. Alright, so you ever wanted to learn how to use the kell horn? Well, this video will tell you how in Mighty Party. Sorry, Mighty Party. Very different. Anyway. Apparently this is what the kell horn looks. It looks like a hot dog. Awesome. Alto flutes. Alto C clef. Alto shang. Alto flute. 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 There you go. 90% of brass and Debussy is just chords in the middle register. Dang. Okay. How do you write for horns without them blasting over everyone? First thing, I don't feel like writing at all. I'm just gonna say a bunch of words at you, so you better pay attention. The one thing that you can do to make sure that your horns don't play over everyone else is to make the horns play less notes. Just make them play octaves. You can just have everyone play octaves. It can be bass notes. Don't make them play any harmonies. No thirds, no fifths. Just let them stay clear of all the other instruments. If you want to have that horny sound in your orchestra, and you just want lots and lots of horns and brass instruments, then you gotta let them step aside. Let them be there, lay the foundation for the chord, but keep them aside. Let them just play the bass notes in octaves maybe if you want, but just the bass notes, or maybe even the melody. And then let everyone else, like the woodwinds and strings, play the harmonies. Alternatively, you can try putting the brass instruments in their upper-ish range where they're a little bit less powerful, especially trombones. Trombones in their upper, like, tenor range, they're not so powerful as they are in their lower range. Same with horns, really. So, but of course horns, they don't really overpower everyone because they're the softer kind of brass. But trombones, they'll be a little bit softer in that upper range if you want. 2x2. And of course euphonium. Trumpets. Trumpets don't blend with anyone because they're trumpets, okay? They're just really loud, and you ain't gonna get no blending out of them. So that's my very quick and extremely professional advice. My dog just farted. It smells like weed. Well, thanks for sharing that. Anyway, about classical music. I think that the alto flute here is going to be an excellent choice, if only I actually loaded the sound that I use for it. Bang. Now, time to hear what you sound like. I like the glockenspiel here. It's kind of missing something, though. There's something missing. Oh, wait, it's a triangle. That's right. I had the triangle blasting in all these sections. So in this section, it's all blast too. And also percussion, right? Man, the percussion's really carrying this. I fear what this sounds like without the percussion section carrying the entire thing. Well, time to find out, I guess. Go. Don't accent here. And I think that's okay. Oh, I did it there. I'll get rid of the marimba here. I think it's fine without it. And maybe this triangle part should come a tiny bit before. Like this. Where's my tremolo? There you go. Do this instead. So the triangle will come in a little longer. And I think there should also be a bass drum here. Oh wait, there is already a bass drum here. I'm just not hearing it that much. Can you be a little bit louder, my friend? How loud is this bass drum? Bang. That's better. And then you're playing this, and I need my triangle friend to keep bouncing along. And I guess my timpani friends to also bounce along. And multiple timpanists, because I'm just so extra. And I need some more arpeggios. What in tarnation is going on here? There you go. What in the world is going on here? Stay clear of each other. Something wrong happened there. And then the orchestra is going to have to get a little quiet here. And then we're going to have a big, big crescendo. And so that's what's going to happen next. At least in theory, if I get it right. Concert bass drum is very rich. I almost prefer marching bass drums. You can use tom-toms if you want to. They're a little bit sharper. What was I doing? Right. No. Yes. Good. Contrabassoon. No. No contrabassoon. Shut up. You go to A or something. You are played by the violins. That's what they play. And the bass clarinet plays. I just realized how none of you are playing these notes. Dang it. Wait. You guys play them. Okay, good. Oh wait, yes, that's good. So you guys play these notes. Awesome. You play that. I think. Wait, yes, no, yes, no, no, yes, no. Yeah, wait, these notes are in the lower range, so they'll have to be played by the contrabass. That makes sense. And you guys just shut up. Shush. Shush. I think this is right. Hold this note a little bit. Let's just do something like this. And here like this. I don't want these guys to come in on a 16th. I'd rather them come on a quarter or eighth. So as much as I'd like you to come in on this A flat here, I'd rather you start over here on this because it just makes more sense and is easier to count, even though it might be a little bit odd, but whatever. And you do this. And I don't think violins can play A2. Yeah, they can't play that low. So you guys are just gonna have to do something weird and wacky. I do mean weird and wacky. Maybe I'll have like the tuba or bass clarinet kind of help you guys out, but either way, why are you guys all the way down here? Fix the machine. Stop it. There you go. That's correct. Okay. Okay, and then that's that part done, and we're gonna need the top bits here and the including clarinet first. You start in the bass clarinet, There you go, the bass clarinet. No accent, please. And yeah, you guys start on, here, get rid of the slur. Second clarinet, or your second clarinet. You start here. And then you start here. Wait. Yeah, this makes more sense. And get rid of this. Oh my goodness, what is this? Fix this! Fix it! Awesome. Okay. I'd like you to do a little bit of a collaboration with your other friend here. Bonk. Whoa, what a low notes. Okay, let me try this. Oh wait. Awesome. Using brass for the bass notes at the beginning of the scales to get more crispy piano feeling. That's what I did at the very beginning. And also contrabass. But over here, I need something less harsh. So I opted for, well, these are still brass instruments, but they're not so harsh. Okay. Do a little stretchy. Man, I wish I could write and arrange music outside. I won't have like my good audio set up here and stuff. But if I were outside, you guys know how much more productive I am when I'm working outside, like doing like a mind problem or doing like figuring out some kind of logic in my head, but I'm like taking a walk or sitting out in the sun. I'm so much more productive. It's probably why I don't get anything done when I'm writing music, is because I'm doing it indoors. Yeah, you guys need to decrescendo. Probably over these 4 bars would be best. So, where is dynamics? Dim. Is this the right... F sharp. That's why it sounds off. There you go, that's better. I know what's gonna happen now. Probably in need of some percussions here. Wait. Okay, that's better. What is th in the percussion? Not seen that abbreviation before. It's the greatest percussion instrument of all time, the thunder sheets. You don't know what a thunder sheet sounds like? It sounds like this. Isn't that just so awesome? Isn't the thunder sheet so amazing? I love the thunder sheet. And it's perfect for this piece of music because it sounds like a bunch of foam of the ocean. Okay. Go. Mezzo piano here. I really like just a decrescendo is fine. And I think like maybe some timpani rolls here would be good. You guys aren't really playing timpani for like melodic purposes. You're more like, you're, what are you called? You're like sound effects timpani, not necessarily musical timpani. So you guys are just kind of playing notes to play notes. Which is what I'm gonna have you do here as well, because I'm creative. And you guys go down to piano or something. Okay. And I feel like there's got to be like a slowy down here, but I'm not so sure. Okay. Let me hear this middle part again. Where does it start? It's like over here. Just start from over here, I guess. Cover your ears. Where's my glockenspiel? It's missing something without the glockenspiel. It needs glockenspiel. Get over here, glockenspiel. You're such a great instrument. I'm gonna have you. I wish you could play everything. You don't have to play all of these notes though. That's fine, because you can't. Probably a little quieter though. You're playing well above the range of these supposed to be. Like, shut up. There you go. Oh no, I can't hear you at all. You know what? No, wait. 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 This is what the marimba's for. Get over here, marimba. Where are you? Bang. Oh wait, wrong place. Bang. Raise it up an octave. Dang, it cannot play A flat. Fix whatever the heck this is. What in tarnation? How do I forget the keybind every time. There you go. There you go. Okay. Crisis averted. Get out of here, dim. Isn't this just a great sound? It sounds maybe a bit too much like a ringtone, but who cares? That's my honest reaction. Let me just make sure I can also reformat this part here. Okay, it's fine. Heard any slurs for to remember? I did. I'm not really sure how slurs work on like pitch percussion, so I just kind of do them slightly like how I would do it with piano. So I guess because like I'm not quite sure how to write slurs on like xylophone because it doesn't sustain notes. And neither do I know how to do it on, like, I can understand like vibraphone and glockenspiel maybe, because you know they resonate for a long time, given that the vibraphone is called the vibraphone because it vibrates, but I guess they all vibrate, but the vibraphone more than everyone else. So that's why I want to know. I haven't seen any writing on it, like in a book or anything. I mean, given I don't read a lot of stuff about writing for percussion instruments, but and I don't really know how to interpret slurs if I saw them on a score, so that wouldn't really be very helpful. I wouldn't really know where to start. So if you guys, when you guys know, then that'd be good, and we could all know together. I think you should also play the arpeggios that come right before. Doink. Get over here. And also, oh crap, all you guys go up here, and you do this, and you stop doing that, and what are you doing all the way up there? Oh my gosh, that is a lot of lines. There, you just play the lower bits. I don't want to strain you too much. Try again. I have a small tam-tam hit here. Well, let me hear that one more time. I would like to hear one trumpet, please, and just one. I don't like that. Especially in those lower notes, I don't really like it. This part here feels kind of weak. There's something missing. Oh wait, oh, it's probably the lack of brass. Hold on, I got you guys. And then some notes here. Okay, I'll figure out what to do there once I am happy with this. Hi, A flat here. Try again. I feel like there's gotta be something else here that I'm missing. Maybe like, I don't want to like overuse the thunder sheet or anything. I kind of want to, I like saving it, especially at the beginning here. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to put anything else here. Ba, 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 ba. Yeah, I think maybe a little bit would be fine. But like, I do mean a little bit. It's gotta be a little bit. I gotta be a little, gotta ration my thunder sheet usage here. Yoink. Hold on. Start again. Don't play for that long. Just something like this. No, no, no. Opposite of what I wanted. Mezzo forte, please. Try. Good. And then, I guess, do the same here. And then quieter here, pretty please. You can be a little tiny, teeny tiny bit louder here with the tenuto. That thu sounds kind of legit. You're so right. I love the thu. what a sound. A very slight hits here. I want more tremolos. Oh, sorry, trills. Wrong word. Okay. No, is there anything else I want? Anything to do with the woodwinds, maybe? It still feels a little bit dull here. Tuba, shush. Okay, I guess it's fine. Now what happens? How does this go again? I forgot. What intonation? Is that really how it goes? Okay, that makes more sense. I started in the middle of a phrase. And then here? I know, it's just MIDI playback. I don't know if I can play a recording without it getting like copyright claims. So I'm just having MIDI playback, it's fine. You guys can look up an actual performance for yourself if you want. And then we need some kind of huge crescendo here. This is a very long crescendo. Look at this. And piano to fortissimo, and how many bars is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 bars of crescendo, alright? Which I really like. We have a lot of space to play with here to get a huge, big crescendo. Tuba is so hard for me to use in orchestral music because of the potential to either sound really drony or very wonky. I kind of agree with that. Usually in places where a tuba has like range, I usually opt for like a bass trombone or a contrabassoon because it's easier to kind of discern those notes over a full orchestra. For tuba, I don't know, it just has a very like how do you describe where to use a clarinet? I don't know. It just depends on the music, so I guess I don't really have anything to say there. I'm gonna sit crisscross applesauce in my chair. That's how you know it's getting serious. Okay, so now that we have 12 bars of 12 bars of that, we gotta figure out how to make it crescendo for that long. So how are we gonna do that? Hold on, I'm going to imagine it first. Let me listen to the whole thing first. I don't think MuseScore is gonna play back a crescendo correctly, but whatever. Oh, get ready for the jump scare. Oh yeah, and there's another part here where there's even more stuff. Okay. Now, let me think for a second. Okay. Not only do I need to think about what happens next, but I need to think about how it follows logically from the rest of the orchestration. Flutes. It needs more flutes. More of this, but also with the flutes. There is no melody really happening up here. I think this would be a good place to use tuba and contrabassoon to get not contrabassoon, well maybe contrabassoon, but tuba and contrabass together. Not contrabassoon, very different. Contrabass, the stringies. I'll need to, like, I'm gonna strip out the rest of the orchestra. I'm gonna strip the orchestra. I'm gonna give it a good look in the eyes. And then I'm gonna start adding stuff to it over the course of 12 bars. So... maybe like... just have a note to end on, I guess. I guess you're the same note, but... whatever, that's fine. Or, actually... whatever, you can both end on G. I need... which one of you is tuba? You're tuba. Tuba and bass trombone. I don't know about forte. Maybe mezzo forte to start, but then of course it will gradually build up. Because you can see here that Chopin emphasizes this, these low notes here as if they were the melody, right? Because these notes are going to ring out. It's not written here in the score, but of course you'll play it with a pedal, right? So these notes will ring out more than the rest of these because you've accented them as you know, pedal everything else. So, you know, you guys are going to do the melody. That melody sounds kind of evil to me, so I want it to be on some nice dark instruments. Right? So, bass trombone and tuba it is. And how does it go? Apparently this is still G. I don't care. You guys are both A now. There you go. Oh, whoopsies. I believe Holst has scored bass clarinet or bassoon above tuba. You probably did. I think Holst has tried every single combination of instruments that could exist. That guy is great at orchestrating. I like to put tuba and bass trombone in unison. Tuba provides the lower fundamental, while the bass trombone provides the bite. Also, we'll throw in some low reeds on top for some extra juice. Hey, that's one way of putting it. A pretty, I would say, idiomatic usage of these guys is contrabassoon in the low end and the tuba in the higher end. That's kind of like a more generic use of these, so like have an E here and then tuba play E and then the two of them together. Let me just make sure you're the same dynamic real quick. You could also do the other way around, I guess. Which sounds kind of like dubstep, but this one's more you know, this one's more idiomatic. Tuba is pretty loud though, so you can make the contra bassoon a bit louder. You can also use more bassoons, I guess. Or alternatively, you can add flaps if you want. But please don't. Anyway. I guess you could call that based. I know I didn't have any reaction, but that was pretty funny. You did deserve a laugh. I just didn't. But it was funny. But you didn't get one. But you deserved it. Anyway. Flutes here. And clarinets. Continuing this kind of pattern here, but I want some flutes because I need it. I need it to sound kind of windy. So, windy you shall sound. Of course, though, I don't know if there's a single flute that can play this G2. Maybe like a hyper super duper bass flute, but not any flute that I've ever heard of. So, in bass clarinet you go, my friends. Doink. Why are you upside down? Stop it. Reset shifts and positions. That's the one I wanted. Okay. And you, stupid clarinet, you need to play this. Repeat that. Oh yeah, that's another keybind I forgot to mention. If you select something and press R, it'll copy it. Bang. Okay. If you like percussion a lot, you should mess with some percussion orchestra writing. I play a lot in percussion ensemble. It's so fun. It's very flexible ensemble as well. I think percussion is great. I use 2 billion percussion instruments because I like them. I've discovered how much I like them pretty recently, actually. Only within the last, like, 4 or 5 months have I, like, really started using more percussion. It all started with me, like, man, I wish I had, like, a tenor drum. Like, I kind of want a tenor drum in this, and it's like, well, maybe I could use, like, tom-toms. Those are pretty cool. I've heard tom-toms be used in, like, rock music, right? So I added the tom-toms, and I'm like, well, now that I add the tom-toms, I might as well add their vowel sisters, the tam-tams, and then one thing led to another, and now I just have all these guys. And this isn't even a lot of percussion. I just decide it just looks like a lot because I guess it is. How many percussion players would this require? I do have all of these guys playing at the same time, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then there's a 7th person here playing the glockenspiel, and there's probably an 8th person here in the marimba. And then 9, 10 for the timpani. This uses more percussion. I wasn't really thinking about that. That's a lot of percussion. Okay. Never in my life would I think I'd come across a VTuber orchestrating classical piano pieces. This is something I needed. Well, I'm glad I can be your junk food. Be sure to consume me well. Anyway. Right, the U. I was doing U. I think you can be in clarinet, that's fine. These last few notes, though, are going to have to be in the basso clarinetto. That's Spanish for bass clarinet. Bang. And then have you start here on the 8th. And then what's the low note of the next one? A flat again. Or wait, yeah, G, not that, G. Let me just copy this. Oh, what intonation is going on here? Did I select the wrong one? Oh, you're currently playing the top parts. That's fine. Bass clarinet. I guess the bassoon should play the lower. No, it should be the basses here, playing these low notes. So I guess you guys are. I guess the contrabasses are getting even more work. Although I don't think that the contrabass should play. But well, yeah, well, but I wanted the tuba to play, and the euphonium can't play this. I guess I could do the contrabassoon, but the contrabassoon will sound a little bit too flappy. So I want it to be on conch bass, but this looks kind of difficult to play on a... You know what? I've disordered to torture the concha bass. And so you guys just get to play this. Actually, I'm gonna be a little bit merciful. There you go. No tenuto here, please. Say no to tenuto. You go to music school for composition, you self-taught? I was tutored in music theory as a kid. Growing up, learning how to play the piano. That's how I learned theory. How I learned to write music, I went to the library and I read books about it. How I learned to orchestrate, same thing. You go here. Hold on, just solving a little bit of an orchestration puzzle here. There you go. Why is this P all the way up here? There you go. P. You guys do... You're starting from fortissimo, you do a diminuendo to forte. I think piano might be a bit too quiet. Because I really want this nice dark sound on you guys, but I also need to hear everyone else. So I guess mezzo forte, you go. And you guys are probably already in mezzo forte, is that correct? Am I right or am I right? Do something like this. And what are you? Cole and BB2. Yeah, put that here. And I'm gonna need two of y'all. You kind of hold off on some of these. Nope, incorrect. Do this, thank you. Wait a second. No, wait, this is good. Oh yeah, how many rests are there here? No, no, no. No, no, no. Out of G. G! Thank you. And you do like this. Wait. No. This. This. There you go. No. Well, wait, that's wrong. No, like this. This is a whole... No, this is a quarter. Yeah, that's a quarter. So quarter, quarter, 8. There you go. Okay. And you do like this, and then you do a hold, and then you do a little bit of like this, and then there you go. I think you can, yeah, this low G can definitely be played by an alto flute. Does it go any lower than G? It's probably fine. Worst comes to worst, I'll just add a bass flute. Okay. You go here in the affle. And you go here in the full. There you go. Awesome. Amazing. You guys will probably have to be a little bit quieter though. I'm not so sure. You know what? Sure. You guys are getting quieter. Get mupped. Mup, mup. All of you mup. Awesome. Okay, it sounds a little weird when the when the violas just go away like that. You can hold on a little longer maybe. Maybe you guys just need to decrescendo even more dramatically, like this. That might make this part sound a bit odd, though. I'm actually okay with that. Because the horns are like kind of taking over it, but not with the crescendo. You know what, horns, you can also play here. Multiple horns, mezzo, forte. There you go. Go. That's incorrect. F sharp. F sharp. And you guys probably need to be slurred. You know what? All the trombones. I don't care. All of them. Maybe horn. Trombone! Okay. Hello. Bow, 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 bow. That's just the villain's theme. How beautiful. I need to really convey that sense of villainy. It needs to also be a bit noisier. Which is kind of why I added the bass drum here. Like I want like a per measure like rumble, you know, like an earthquake is coming or something like that. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. Let me make you play G. Again, you guys are the sound effect timpani. Not the you guys ain't the melodic timpani. They did say, I have been told multiple times that timpani is not a bass instrument. Despite it playing in the bass clef and also being in the bass range, it's not a bass instrument. I think what they really mean to say is that timpani should not be used to just emphasize the bass line, which I guess fair enough, but I think calling it not a bass instrument is kind of misleading, don't you think? But either way, what I really mean to say is that since you're not a bass instrument, I'm going to use you as sound effects because clearly you don't like playing the bass lines. Myth, not f, myth. Try this. That's cool. Ooh, that's a little fun. Term hit here. Maybe. Try this. Or you're gonna have to try a little harder than that, my friends. You're getting upgraded to F. Ooh, I like that. Okay. I just needed like a teensy tiny bit of splash, you know? I need to hear that water splash a little bit. Cat or elf for me is a demon cat from the magic woods from the family Wild Cats. Wow, that's so much thought put into what you look like. I just came out looking like this. As for my eyes, you guys want to see my reference images? You guys want to see the big board of progress? You're gonna want to know where my eyes come from? Wow, that's crazy, right? I never would take inspiration from something that looks like that. Wow, lots of images. We have the pink. Alright, bang. Get out of here. I figured it was crew member's son. That's my favorite show. You do a repeats thing. Why are you squished here? What, is time dilating in this part? There you go. Oh yeah, and some of these other parts that like this mezzo forte will probably go up to forte. But for now, let's stand at a nice peaceful mezzo forte. Very peaceful. Chopin's Ocean Etude, very peaceful. I just need to write in the rest of the arpeggios. So I'm going to do it in the strings first because the strings are easier. I think it would be better if we had like octave movement, you know? So like... you do this, but also you do this. Maybe? Perhaps? Perhaps? And then I have like, you also do this. And then you just, you guys do a diminuendo all the way up to over here. Oh my gosh, your score is struggling. So you guys just kind of shush, shush, shush on this note here. There you go. And you guys start here. And then go. Hopefully that's a bit easier to hear. I hope it doesn't sound too strange. That's a little fear of mine. And you can't go any lower than this, which is a disappointment, but whatever. I'm not really sure how I feel about the violins and violas like this. And plus I'm not sure if they're even going to be able to play all those notes. I think I preferred it when it was a single melody line, so like this. Okay, whatever. I can add more instruments as I need to. This is fine though. Hold this. I really need to emphasize that this is the new melody though. I'm not really hearing it as the new melody. I have a solution. There you go. Awesome. Forte. Don't be afraid to make your melodies forte. It's the melody after all. And you gotta hear it. VST. I use just the built-in Muse score sounds. Well, kind of. I use the Berlin Muse score sounds, but they're built into Muse score. They're not like a plugin I download from the internet. I just learned I can make violin section plus viola section sound like church organ and non-vib playing. What with the non-vibrato? Well, yes. You can also achieve kind of a church organ sound using a huge collection of oboes. Like a lot of oboes. Oboe plus clarinet will kind of get you there. Maybe some trombones for extra spice. Or you could just ask for a church organ. This is also an option. Lots of concert halls have pipe organs. It's fine. You can just ask for one. Okay. Oh my goodness, there's some sirens outside. Where was I? Here. And then these middle few notes at the U mark go on the cello, the Paco Cresque. That's how you say it. Oh wait, hold on. And you also do a doubly double of you here. Just some notes down. I'm coming to arrest you. I'm so afraid. Can you make a gaggle of oboes? Wow, I see you retracted your message. You were so ashamed by the gaggle of oboes. As you should be, of course. And then the next part, which is up here, and the... Oh, this is gonna take so long. Whatever. That's why I have you guys, so I don't just do this in boredom. Oh, you're the incorrect note. Wait, what note are you playing? GB. GB. For shorts. Ah, yuck yuck, that's so hilarious. I want... You are A, C, A flat, C, A flat. Okay. So, you in fact are supposed to go to A flat. So, you guys here. Lovely. Get rid of the accents. You do like this. You do a quarter eighth rest. Like this. Nope, that's not it. That's not it either. There you go. And then here you have a quarter eighth rest. You do these notes. Bang. You do a this. You add a note here. You don't play a little longer. In fact, actually you should. There you go. You do this. There you go. And like this. Hold this. Here, hold this. You are, what are you? A flat, and what is this note? C. And then C. Low C. Awesome. Hold this. Awesome. Okay. And then slur. Y'all both in flutes. For some added color. And you know what? I want tenuto. Go. This is gonna sound very Harry Potter, and I like it that way. I need more wind. I need to hear the wind blowing. Thundersheet, it's your time to shine yet again. Man, I'm really getting my money's worth out of the Thundersheet this time. You know, you can have the same kind of dynamics that are happening over here in the timpani. There you go. That's my Thundersheet sound. Delete. Select, 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 select. Repeats. Nope. Just copy. Paste. And then do another one. Tie. Awesome. Oh, you gotta be louder than that, man. Forte. Go. Yeah, like that, like that, like that. Alright, awesome. Let wind come in. The wind is coming in, and the coming in is wind. You hear? Oh my gosh. I'm gonna have to move to the next measure after this. Okay. You guys are on here. You guys are the same notes, right? You sure are. Okay. Delete. No, don't delete all those. Delete the middle notes here. Something like this. You play... And you have a eighth rest here, which goes to hold down, put in the slurs. Oh, whoopsies. It was a misinput. Misinput. There you go. And then as for the upper part, man, if only this is... Maybe I can just do this and edit the notes. So... What are you? C, F, C. Wait. Okay, yeah, that is a repeated C. So what I'm gonna do first is, since you're currently a flat C, I'm just gonna shift you like this, and then all of these E's I'll turn into F's. Bang. Wow. I'm so efficient. And then you do that. And voila. Hold on, do a slur here. And then I guess I can do that one more time for an ocean drum calls your name. Do I have an ocean drum sound? Let me check here. Ocean drum. I have Windmaker. I mean, I already have Thundersheet, which is my Windmaker. But I guess I could add a Windmaker if I wanted to. It was ocean drum. I don't even know if you can add, I don't even know if MuseScore recognizes wind machine. Nope. Wind gong. What is a wind gong? Man, I can't spell wind gong. Oh, is it just a gong? There's your wind gong. Does it have like a specific sound? Okay. YouTube.com. I'm gonna find a wind gong. How to play the wind gong? I want to know how to play the wind gong. Oh my gosh, what a sound. Oh no, it's vibrating my soul. Oh my gosh. Sound. Awesome. Now I need a wind gong. I would like one in my house. Wake up to the sounds of Five Nights at Freddy's ambiance. Hello. Scary. Thanks, Gengar. You're right, it was very scary. Okay. After this is what? B, F. Nice tritone here. I'm gonna move you down like this, so you're B. And then all of these E's I shall move to F. There you go. And over here in the U, you guys change to G, G, D, G. Okay, very easy. All these A flats, I guess, need to move to G's. There you go. And then another thing. You guys, that's right, move to forte. Bonk. And I guess that's it. What do you sound like now? Okay, it's getting somewhere. It needs a little bit more oomph, though. It needs more oomph. It needs some of that oomph. What's an oomph? I don't know, but it needs it. Add some horn. Go. Not that many horns. Second and fourth horn, because they're the ones that play the lower notes. Less pulsing, more randomness for the wind machine. I guess that would work. I could make them play at a different kind of pace. Not quite sure how I'd notate that though. I could do something like this, where you play like, maybe not necessarily randomly, but more like this. Maybe more like... Let me think. If you did, for example... Crescendo 3 beats, decrescendo 3 more beats. 3, that's 3. There you go. If you did like this, maybe that, no, not fup, just puh. There you go. And I guess you could repeat this. There you go. Shirgi's. Now what does this sound like? I guess that kind of works. I would like you to be a bit louder though in this later part. Alright, maybe that's a bit much. Okay. Bass drum Tom's doing rolls. Thundersheet Tam's doing impacts on 3. I do have the Tam doing an impact here. And the timpani are doing rolls. I can replace these mezzo fortes maybe with forte. Maybe not at the beginning. Let me hear it one more time. Yeah, like maybe these ones here. What with the you can be dynamics forte. Try this. Go. Wait, I accidentally changed these pianos to forte. There you go. Hello. Try again. Try this on the triangle. And have a more consistent Thundersheet sound. Just as an experiment. Try this. A bit louder. Try this kind of pattern on the Tam. Let me hear you both together. I need a more dramatic Tam sound. Fortissimo. Bang. And then try this. Yes, that's very windy. I like it. What do you sound like forte? That's a bit too loud. White noise machine. Try again. But I would like the Thundersheet to do a crescendo at least. So do a nice long crescendo. Something like this. Go. I think I would prefer this. Something a bit more predictable. Something like this. One more time. Okay, as this gets, okay, I cannot hear these arpeggios. I need them to be a bit louder. So, mezzo forte, and then all y'all back to mezzo forte. Now that I added the Thundersheet, it's going to kind of cover over some of these sounds, so I gotta bring them back. Maybe add some percussion doing this. Maybe. No. No. Now you guys are too loud. That's why I made you guys mezzo piano. Oh, that's too many mezzo pianos. I could just undo what I did then. I'll just lower the volume of you guys. You can go up to fortissimo later, but not yet. Get out of here. And I need... Maybe I could also have some low rumble with the Tommy Toms. That's my Tom Tom impression. And I guess also bass. Gran Casa. There you go. Hold on to that. Okay. That works, I guess. I need you guys to be a little bit more evil. I don't want to use trumpets just yet. We still have a lot of more bars to go. Oh wait, euphonium. I forgot about you somehow. Help. No, not F. I meant to write F as in this. Awesome. Try, actually, you and contra bassoon. Goody gumdrops. Okay. Bass trombone dying octave with the tuba. Like this. I think it might be a bit low, but let's hear. It's harder to hear. This one's a bit more easy to hear. I was afraid that the bass trombone that low, not to, I told you so you, that's not what I mean. I mean like, that low, the bass trombone kind of loses its quality. The tuba is much better there. Where the bass trombone really shines is, it's more, it's the very trombone, if you know what I mean. Actual double bass parts, I know, right? The double bass don't get anything. I'm trying to make it pretty easy on them, but these notes that Chopin wrote are pretty low, so double bass gets to have some fun with the cellos. I do like the double bass a lot, though. I wish I wrote more music that called for it. It's not really like me to write too much double bass stuff, but I do like the way it sounds when I do use it for solos. Double bass is very good at solos. I did actually see part of a double bass, well not, I saw it on like YouTube, but I did see part of like a double bass concerto once, which was very fun and very cool. It was a little bit out of tune though. I don't really blame the double bassist though. I feel like it's kind of the composer's fault for writing really, really high notes for the double bass. And of course the double bass, like it can play those notes, but it like won't sound as good. The double bass, of course, is meant to play these lower notes, and it sounds better and more in tune in those lower notes, so... well, oh well. There would be fancy fingerings for that, but definitely possible. Okay, fair enough. Again, I'm just worried about it being not impossible, because I will reiterate again. This is an etude, so it is meant to be difficult, but that doesn't mean I should just write it unnecessarily difficult for no reason. So, what's the melody like in this next part? Let me start over here. Okay. Let me get the melody in first, just to... And then another B, C, and then C, E flat, and then I guess D, yep. And then D, E flat. Wow, I'm seeing a pattern here. It's almost like that's how it works. G, and then F, natural, right? Yeah. And then A, flat, and then G. Okay. Awesome. I'll definitely be adding more instruments to that, or maybe even removing some. That is a lot of whole notes. It looks like a bunch of eyes staring at me. That's creepy. Okay. Now time for the arpeggios. It'll be over here in this measure 35. Is it just the same? It is the same, okay. Well, that makes it easy on me. Bang, easy peasy. I'm so good. In fact, just do this, I guess. And then bang, bang. And then watch me expertly copy and paste, bang. And then watch me expertly do it again. And watch me very expertly do it yet again. Okay, that might be a bit much, but they're just placeholders, okay? They're definitely subject to change. Just have something. And then what's this? These notes are C. Nope, that was completely wrong. Why did I say C? That's the melody is C. The low note is A flat, F, A flat. Yes. Okay. All you... Wait, no, that's not what I meant to do. All you E flats go to C. Nope, F. I said C again. That's completely wrong. You in the top part. You are C, F, C. Which I could probably just move all these B flats. Or sorry, B naturals. It's not B flat, it's B flat without the natural. But there are no flats here. Add the slurs in before I forget, because I have already forgotten 3 of them. Oh my gosh. Okay. And we'll add more instruments. I just need to get the notes in before I do any arranging. Okay, what in tarnation is going on here? A, F sharp. Oh wow, that's easy. Bang. And then what are you? E flat, F sharp. Okay. All these Fs go to F sharp, I guess. And all you Cs go to E flat. There you go. Awesome. What are you? What is that, G minor? Yep. Okay, so you're a B flat, G, B flat. So that's just more chromatic movements. Oh, I also forgot to add the slurs in the contrabass. How do I keep forgetting this? Bang. 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 Cool. And then here in the upper bits, you get to play. What was that? D, G, D. Same note name, G. Good. And gotta catch up on some lost sleep, and you better practice your scales while doing that as well. Okay, try. Okay, there definitely needs to be something more there. Starting in from the beginning. Good. And then, like, I feel like there needs to be some more bass introduced here or something. More horns. I say more horns. Boink. Maybe, like, loud horns. There you go. Here, get rid of the euphonium for a sec. Maybe, like, just switch it up a tiny bit. Might not stay like this, but have the bass trombone go down. Oh, it's kind of lost that low luster it had, though. Here, also boost the volume of the contrabassoon, or the cabasson for short. Go. What in tarnation was that? What instrument was that? What? Who's invading my orchestra? Is it you? There's like some harmonic interference going on there. It's very specifically causing some strange resonance to happen in my samples. My order. I'll have some more bassoon stuff going on here, I suppose. Okay, try this. Go. Good. Unison throughout 4 French horn parts is probably why. That makes sense. Yeah, you're probably right about that. I want maybe violas to come in. Nah. I want oboes here now. Mezzo piano. Okay, you guys are gonna have to get louder now because the melody's getting louder and I cannot hear you no more, so you're getting upgraded to muff. There you go. No, but I rearranged it by accident. What? Where did mezzo forte go? Nope. Come back. What? There you go. Both of you guys, mezzo forte. Okay, try again. Okay. Actually, can you, my friends, be played on stringy strings? Or oboes and strings, really, but stringy strings. There you go. Doink. And I'm probably gonna have to change some stuff with you. Here, bass clarinet. I think, I don't know if a viola will be able to play our notes, but I guess we're gonna find out. Nope. That's what I thought. Cannot play this low B flats. Which makes me very sad. I'm deleting these. Try again. Viola goes down to C in bass clef. I know, the lowest note it has is C. I cannot play this B flat. But that's fine. Violas can just play nothing, I guess. Violins can play those arpeggios fully. Yeah, that makes sense. I just had it in the oboes before, which is why they're like that. Okay. Time to do some combining. Watch this. Yoink. And then just do some weird tricks here. Just delete this. And oh no, this is terrible. Implode faster. How'd I put all you guys in first voice? There you go. Oh, my muse score is lagging. Well, that's not good. Okay, that looks correct. And then I guess something like this. Actually, no, let's do it a bit smoother. This feels a bit odd, but maybe something like that. That doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, though. The peaks of the arpeggio should be addressed somehow because they're echoing the bass even if subtle. Okay. I did kind of have something like that before with the glockenspiel kind of doing the peaks. I'm not sure what to do for that. What's your BMI? What does that stand for? Big Mac Incorporated? Okay. Go. I guess I just need one line of violins. Try. I would like the brasses to do a swell like this, and I guess like this. Here, euphonium, you can do fortissimo, you go down to forte, or not forte, fortissimo. Same with you horns. Bonk. And then you go down to forte here. And then you immediately go back up to fortissimo. And then so you have to re-articulate on the doubles. That's how I had them doing before. I just thought maybe they could get away with something else, but yeah, I guess I will have to redo that. Yeah, because over here they're re-bowing, or not re-bowing, whatever the words are. They have to change their bow direction on the double notes. Depends on how pianists interpret the original piece. Yeah, I could have it both ways, I guess. Because now that I have it on Orchestra, I have a little bit more freedom to try out some special color effects that pianists can't have. And so Try again. Louder in the strings. Go. Oh wait, and did I write all my... Oh wait, I also forgot to do that in the contrabassoon. Hold on. Contrabassoon, loud. No, 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 no. Not double F. Fortissimo. There you go. And then you guys don't need to go to triple F. That just seems ridiculous. You guys just move to double F. And then there. Try again. Just as a matter of taste, I'm going to make you slow down a tiny bit here. But I do mean a tiny bit. So I'm gonna let the tempo change be kind of light. Something like this maybe. And I'll write here, text here, text. And then, of course, a tempo here. Okay. Try. Oh, I think it needs to be a little bit more than that, but only a little bits. I promise only a little bits. Here we go. Try this. Okay. It needs to start quieter. Right now it's going from loud to very loud. It needs to go from like soft to loud, not loud to loud. I think it's causing the loudness to like lose its luster. It needs to start quieter so it can get louder. So mezzo forte, here we come. Where are you, palettes? Doink. Put you on muff here. We're getting muffed. No, 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 no. That's incorrect. No, no, no. That's even more incorrect. Get out of here. Aggressively slams backspace. Okay. That's good. And I guess all of you guys will have to go up to fortissimo, but that's fine. I like that. Bang. Okay, I'm not quite sure how this will sound, but I guess I'm curious, so let's see. Oh wait, I forgot to mark fortissimo here. And I would also like not horn but bassoons here. Maybe like first and second bassoon here. Try. Don't introduce horns until that. Bring back the euphonium, pretty please. Try this. Or, whoopsies. And decrescendo, not down to mezzo forte, but to forte. Make it a bit less dramatic for this part. Okay. That's a bit better, I think. Try again from here. Okay. I think there needs to be some bass drum increase here at least. The Sokolov recording of this? Yeah, that's how I know about it. I wouldn't know about it either way. Because I don't listen to romantic music that much, because I don't like it very much. But I like Grigory Sokolov, so I'll listen to him play anything, which is how I know about this piece. I've been having a good time in the psychiatric hospital. No, I'm in the English department because I can't say that word correctly. Some clarinets. Less horn. There's too much horn. Okay. But now what? Where am I? Am I here? I sure am. And here you're at... And then... you know what? Let me just listen to this back. Let's do a crescendo here, and a crescendo here. What dynamic you guys are at? Mezzo forte. There you go. And you know what? You guys can go up to fortissimo here, because why not? Bang. Okay. Now... just do more stuffies over here. Bang. Try again. Any other percussion I think I should add? I think this is fine. Glockenspiel. No. Marimba. No. Triangle. I don't think so. I don't know. I'm thinking of each of them and where they would be in this, but I can't really imagine them here. Like, I could imagine them in some of the earlier parts, which is why I wrote them there. But... anyway. Oh, oopsies. Doesn't seem like they're in the arpeggio party. No, I know clarinets aren't, they're not very, they don't take a liking to playing big, huge arpeggios, so. Alright. From the top. Okay. That's as far as I've gotten. Man, how long I've been doing this? It's got to be approaching like 10, 12 hours now. And I've only gotten a minute of orchestrating done. Oh man. That's painful to think about. There are some parts in there that I think could definitely there's definitely some parts there that I think could be better. Like the beginning I'm still very unsure about, of course, because it's the beginning, so something about the dynamics I didn't quite like or something like that. And something in the middle here seemed like it was missing something. It was missing some kind of noise. What percent would you say you're at? I don't know. How many measures is the original? This is... I'm not counting this. So you are measure 38, and you have... what's that? 83 measures. So that's about halfway. I mean, it repeats somewhere in here, so I could probably get away with... I'm not going to copy and paste the whole thing, but I will... It will probably get faster as I have already written out the parts, and so no need to fiddle around too much. A minute and 5 hours, so relatable and cynical. More than 5 hours. It's probably been double that. Long time. Okay. Well, it's getting late for me. It's already 12 o'clock, so that'll be enough orchestrating for today. I really want to get back to the other one that I was doing, the Brahms one. I just felt like doing Chopin today because it was a Friday night. Well, Saturday for me now, but whatever. You know what I mean. So this is the end of the stream. Make sure to subscribe and also join the Discord and all that stuff. But don't join the Discord if you don't have a library card. You can join the Discord once you have a library card. Otherwise, I don't want to hear from you. Alright, make sure to practice your scales and I'll see you idiots later. Bye bye.